Will Lionel Messi win the World Cup again? At first, that sounds like a ridiculous question. After all, he already did it. In 2022, he completed football. The trophy that haunted his entire career finally belonged to him. The debate was over. The dream was complete. Argentina stood on top of the world. For most players, that would have been the perfect ending. But Messi is not most players. And that is why the 2026 World Cup feels different. Because somehow, football's greatest story might not be finished yet. The entire tournament could revolve around one question: can Messi actually do it again? Most fans immediately focus on age. By the time the World Cup begins, Messi will be older than almost every superstar he faces. And football history is not kind to aging legends. The World Cup is brutal. 7 matches, weeks of pressure, constant travel, high intensity, little recovery time. Every game feels like a final. The tournament exposes weaknesses faster than any competition on earth. And eventually, time catches everyone, even the greatest. That is why so many people believe 2022 was the last chapter, the perfect ending, the final masterpiece, the moment the story should have ended. But football rarely follows perfect scripts. And that is where things get interesting. Because the biggest reason Messi could win again has nothing to do with Messi. It has to do with Argentina. Look back at recent World Cups. Most champions rise, win, then collapse. The pressure becomes too much. The hunger disappears. The squad ages. The cycle ends. But Argentina do not look like a team that is declining. They look like a team that is evolving. That should worry everyone. Because the players around Messi are now better than they were in 2022. The younger generation has gained experience. The squad understands how to handle pressure. The coaching staff has already survived the biggest moments possible. And perhaps most importantly, they know exactly what it takes to win. That sounds obvious. It isn't. Most teams enter a World Cup hoping they can become champions. Argentina already know they can. That difference changes everything. Because confidence is powerful, but certainty is even stronger. The moment a team proves it can win the biggest tournament in football, something changes psychologically. Pressure feels different. Panic feels smaller. Challenges feel familiar. The impossible suddenly feels normal. Argentina now have that advantage. And very few teams in the tournament can say the same. But there is another hidden reason people keep underestimating Messi's chances. They are imagining the wrong version of Messi. Many fans still picture the player who carried entire teams by himself. The player who dribbled through 5 defenders. The player who touched the ball 100 times per game. The player responsible for everything. That version of Messi was terrifying. But it is not the version Argentina need anymore. And strangely enough, that might make him even more dangerous. Because older players survive by becoming smarter. They learn when to run, when to rest, when to attack, when to wait. They stop wasting energy. They stop forcing moments. They become specialists. And Messi might be the greatest specialist football has ever seen. Think about it. What if he only needs one moment, one pass, one free kick, one assist, one shot, one decision? That is all it takes. Football matches are often decided by a single moment, and nobody creates moments better than Messi. That is why age alone does not answer this question. The real question is whether the rest of the world has become strong enough to stop Argentina. And the answer is not simple, because this World Cup could be one of the most competitive ever. France are loaded with talent. Spain continue to improve. England have one of the deepest squads in football. Brazil are desperate to return to the top. Germany are rebuilding. Portugal remain dangerous. Every giant believes this could be their year, and that creates a problem for Argentina. The road will be harder than it was before. Every opponent understands exactly what Argentina are capable of. Nobody will underestimate them. Nobody will take them lightly. Nobody will give them space. The defending champion always carries an invisible burden. Every team treats the champion differently. Every match becomes a statement opportunity. Every upset becomes a historic headline. And Argentina will feel that pressure from the very first game. That is the hidden challenge of defending a World Cup. You are no longer chasing greatness. You are protecting it. And protecting something is much harder than chasing it. Because fear enters the equation. Fear of losing. Fear of failing. Fear of letting history slip away. That pressure destroys many champions. But then we arrive at the most fascinating part of this entire story. Messi himself. Because nobody really knows what motivates him anymore. The old motivations are gone. He already won the Ballon d'Or. He already won the Champions League. He already broke countless records. And most importantly, he already won the World Cup. So why keep going? Why return again? Why put yourself through another tournament? The answer might be surprisingly simple. Because great competitors do not think like normal people. Most people chase goals. Champions chase challenges, and there is no greater challenge than defending a World Cup, especially at this stage of a career. Especially when everyone expects decline. Especially when everyone thinks the story is already over. That is exactly the kind of challenge legends love. And history has shown something interesting. The moment people start doubting Messi is often the moment he becomes most dangerous. We have seen it throughout his career. Questions become motivation, doubt becomes fuel, criticism becomes energy. And heading into 2026, there will be plenty of doubt. Too old, too slow, too late. We've heard those words before, many times. Yet somehow Messi keeps finding ways to surprise people. Which brings us to the final question. Will he actually do it? The honest answer is that nobody knows. That is what makes this story so compelling. Maybe age finally wins. Maybe Argentina falls short. Maybe another football giant takes the crown. Those possibilities are very real. But there is another possibility. A possibility that millions of football fans secretly believe. A possibility that refuses to disappear. Somewhere in the summer of 2026. A packed stadium. A tense knockout match. The score level. The clock ticking down. Everything hanging in the balance. And then the ball finds Messi. One touch. One pass. One moment. One piece of magic. The kind of moment that only he can create. And suddenly football history changes again. That is why this question matters. Not because Messi is guaranteed to win, but because he remains one of the few players capable of doing something that feels impossible. The World Cup is coming. The pressure is building. The legends are preparing. And somewhere, Lionel Messi is preparing too. Will he do it again? We are about to find out. Subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome.